This is the Hyperlight, Hitscan's first ever mouse release. It's been out for a while now, but I've only recently picked one up, second hand at that. So this mouse is supposed to be the answer to all our Viper Mini prayers. So does it live up to the hype? Let's find out in this video. Starting with what you get in the box. The packaging is simple and minimalistic, but here's what's included. The mouse itself, obviously. The 1K dongle is included, but if you want 8K capabilities, you need to purchase that dongle separately. I didn't go for it, and explain why later in this review. A USB-C cable for charging and connection. 2 sets of PTFE skates. One is a larger style, similar to the Silverfoot skates I have applied, and another set designed for a 4-corner layout. The mouse doesn't come with skates pre-applied, which I actually like. It gives you the freedom to use what you want without having to remove the stock skates. Lastly, there's the user guide, and a link to Hitscan's Discord server for support and updates. Now onto the weight. Hitscan lists the Hyperlight at 39 grams on the website. However, on my scale, with skates applied, it comes in at 42 grams. I don't see the point in weighing a mouse without skates, since no one's going to use it like that, and for a mouse of this size, that weight is seriously impressive anyways, and it's achieved without much compromise. There are no holes in the shell, except for the bottom. The weight is also well balanced. The mouse balances right in the middle, the PCB placed towards the front, and the battery positioned towards the back, which helps achieve this. The build quality is solid. There's no flex to be felt on the top or the sides of the shell. Everything feels sturdy in the hand. There is some flex on the bottom plate, but that's irrelevant since you're not in contact with it during use. The sturdiness comes from the way the mouse is built. The PCB design is similar to what we've seen with G-Walls. It supports the shell internally, allowing for a lightweight build without the usual side flex you'll get if not done this way. As for the main buttons, they're tight and well assembled, with little to no noticeable side-to-side play. And for the most important part, the shape. The Hyperlight is heavily inspired by the Razer Viper Mini. I can't fault them for that. It's a shape that's been loved by the community for years and still holds up today. However, there are a few noticeable differences that I want to go over before sharing my own personal feelings about them. The first and most obvious difference is the sides. They're much flatter on the Hyperlight and don't follow the aggressive inward curves of the Viper Mini. The next change is the hump is slightly taller, and lastly, the main clicks on the Hyperlight sit much lower than the Viper Mini. All these differences make the Hyperlight feel distinct from the Viper Mini. Even though it maintains a similar overall structure, these design tweaks make it a safer, more neutral shape that could appeal to a wider range of users. I'd go far as calling it the G Pro of the Viper Mini shape. It actually fixes one issue I had with the Viper Mini, the right side. Because of the aggressive curves, I would end up stacking my fingers in a weird position, which would cause some discomfort in my pinky and ring finger. With the Hyperlight's flatter sides, that problem is gone. So if you're looking for a one-to-one Viper Mini clone, you might be a bit disappointed. This isn't that, but if you're after a shape that captures the same essence, while being more universal and comfortable, the Hyperlight delivers. Personally, I really like the shape, and I can see why it's been so hyped up. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the coating. It's excellent. It has a slightly rubbery texture that provides a solid grip, and for most of you, it will be more than enough without needing any extra grip tape. The skates that come with the Hyperlight are excellent. I currently have the Silverfoot skates on, as the previous owner had them applied. I've also tested the ones that Hitscan includes in the box, and honestly, they feel almost identical to the X-Ray Pad J's, which are some of my favourite skates out right now. Word on the street is that both Hitscan and X-Ray Pads use the same manufacturer, which would explain the similarities in the feel and performance. The main clicks on the Hyperlight use the Omron optical switches. To me, they feel a bit heavier and slightly sticky, but one of the few things I'm not a huge fan of. They don't ruin the experience, but I do think Hitscan could have done a better job tuning them. As for the side buttons, they're actually quite well implemented. There's minimal pre-travel, very little post-travel, and they feel very nice and tactile. The only gripe is the placement. I think they could have benefited from being positioned just a further bit back. That would make the forward side button easier to reach without having to adjust my grip. And lastly, the scroll wheel. Overall, I like how it feels. The steps are well defined without being too aggressive. The only downside is the middle click. It feels a bit cheap and heavier than I like. The battery life on the Hyperlight at 1K polling rate is pretty solid. This kind claims around 75 hours, which translates to about 3 full days of constant use. In real world use, that means you can easily get over a week of battery life before needing to charge. As for why I didn't bother with the 8K dongle, because I almost never use AK polling on any of my mice outside of testing. It drains the battery significantly faster and cause compatibility issues with some games, and to actually benefit from it, you at least need a 240Hz monitor, which I don't own. This might be a bit of a hot take, but I actually like that Hitscan doesn't include the AK dongle by default. It helps keep the cost down, and for most people, it's not something they'll use anyways. As always, I won't be diving into performance numbers. I focus more on how the mouse feels, and from my experience, it feels great to use. I've used the 3395 sensor in this mouse extensively, Corvax, and had zero issues. No noticeable DPI deviation, no weird latency, nothing that will take away from the experience. If you're someone who's really into the technical side of performance metrics, I recommend checking out TechPowerUp's article on the Hyperlight, and I will link it down below.
One enemy remaining.
He's dead.
The Hitscan software is pretty simple. You have two pages, one for your key configuration, so you can set whatever key you want. You have your motion sync, debounce time, so your mouse 1 and 2 debounce time, all the way up to 8 milliseconds. Auto sleep, you can set up to 15 minutes. And then your performance page, where you can set your DPI, you have 4 stages if you want, or you just leave a 1. Your polling rate, go up to 8K if you have the 8K dongle, your LOD, and some other miscellaneous stuff. I turn on high performance and long distance mode, as I heard it helps with performance. One issue with the utility is that you don't see an actual battery percentage, so mine is not actually on 100%. Except for that, it's pretty simple, literally just 2 pages. So to wrap things up, Hitscan Hyperlight is an impressive first release. At $89.99, it's price competitive for what it offers. An ultra lightweight design, solid build quality, great skates, a grippy coating, and a respectable battery life. The optional 8K dongle comes in at $24.99, but unless you have a 240Hz monitor and really care about pushing the limits, you probably won't need it. And I like that Hitscan gives you the choice instead of forcing that extra cost. Now if you're coming into this expecting a 1-to-1 Viper Mini clone, it isn't quite that. The flatter size, the taller hump, and the lower main clicks make it feel like a more refined, safer take on the beloved shape. Almost like the G Pro the Viper Mini world. And for me personally, I actually saw some of the issues I had with the original Viper Mini shape. Overall, I think the Hyperlight lives up to most of the hype. Not perfect, the main clicks could be improved, and scroll wheel feels a bit cheap, but Hitscan clearly put thought into what matters. You're after a lightweight, well-balanced mouse with a proven shape that's been made more universally comfortable, the Hyperlight is absolutely worth considering. If you found this video helpful or enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, and subscribe if you want to see more mouse and peripheral reviews like this. Got any more questions about the Hyperlight or want to share your own thoughts, drop a comment down below. I'll always try to reply. Thanks for watching guys, and I hope I see you in the next one.